eventually I'm gonna have to start bringing my daughter.
Yeah, like I had it. Like I came out here early today, so I brought my daughter. She got here about 2. So she was here all day.
I was working on it, still working on stuff like that. But
Yeah. So what's up with all these cameras?
The live podcast too.
Oh yeah?
Or the streams it. People, we got quite a following, man.
Oh.
Yeah. And then afterwards, we'll do the podcast in his living room.
We should be live.
like now I'm like I have to do like
Yeah, this month a bunch of stuff.
He goes live on YouTube. And then afterwards, he'll break it all down, set it up in his living room, and we'll chill on the couch and do the podcast.
No, we just had Randy on podcast. It was fucking amazing. Randy, yo, he's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that podcast fucking changed my life a little, I feel like. Well, I think maybe a meeting, you get changed a little every time.
Wow, it's good you're doing this. Man.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of people, I'm over the end.
I was over it before it started.
Hell yeah. So there's a lot of people that can't get to a meeting, they don't even understand what we're doing, and they're following me. So yeah, this is what we're doing, and it's a certain amount of not meeting, so it doesn't, we're not reaching, but I'm a fucking rule breaker, I don't give a fuck, but I should look at that, and I want to be better with that stuff.
Don't worry about it.
But I would love for you to come chat with us after on the podcast.
Yeah, let's do
Dude,
it.
amazing.
Let's do it.
I can't wait.
Does it work?
We're almost ready here.
I haven't read this.
3 minutes, but we usually start a little late.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
It's been a minute.
see how it was actually sick. We found it
I'm back. I just discovered that dark chocolate is good for your brain.
Like,
In the sea of all bad news for everything I like, I'm being unhealthy.
Maybe this
Dark chocolate is very good
Like I just
for you.
like I had to
Sugar is very bad. So if it's got no sugar, it's good. If it's got sugar, it's like jerking off with one hand and stabbing yourself in the balls with the other.
I bet this is just like cheap dark chocolate. But it's tons of sugar.
That's, there's no sugar.
I'm gonna get my tea. I just need
That's where I gotta get to.
Well, I'm 68 years old, so you got time.
It's about. I'm trying to like make habits that like eating that like I can maintain for a long time.
Well,
It's tough.
I know.
It's gonna cost me.
You can't just like starve yourself. I can't like completely cut out carbs and shit like that. But
Sure you can. You just don't want it.
Dude, my chick had to go vegan overnight because my kid has fucking milk allergies. I mean,
As long as you're
cut
active,
out
dude.
all dairy, that's all she eats.
As long as you're active, you can do pretty much anything.
That's true.
I'm extremely active.
If you got a positive mental attitude, you could be eating fucking cat food
Not more.
and be healthier than somebody who's like health food, not things like shit. So
Is that Pat's?
you could live on fucking dog kibble and be healthy.
I believe it. Yeah, I agree.
It's all in that. It's all up to you.
Like, I was at fucking
45. I'm like I have the best deal right here. Everyone, yeah.
They came out to my school and I pounded the whole thing.
No.
All right.
I'd be in trouble.
What's this? What's happening
Be
to
sustainable. If I want to sell
let's
the brand,
reel that in.
I sat down. And
No, I know. I'm just
sitting
saying.
there.
I'm not saying you did anything wrong.
packaging,
I'm just saying there's.
Just speak in real English and just tell me what you want me to do.
He wants to get rid of that chair and he wants you to sit there.
Is that what you want?
I don't know. You're in front of 3 people.
Yeah.
You can have my spot. I'll move over next to the call.
You can make this a proper stickers.
Oh, hey, Danielle, Johnny. You too.
Everything. Dude, okay.
Yeah, we don't really need. Billy, you want to like maybe?
You can't get covered. Dude, I had a branding. I've had a meeting with a branding consultant. Remember, have we finished the last Beatitude, or are we still? Like, we look at you, you look like.
We're on the last part of it.
Yeah.
Corey knows where we're at,
I
right?
thought we finished the last. Yeah, we finished the last. The last paragraph of the. Okay. Wow.
Mikey, did you find that?
Yep.
What's up, Billy?
Have you been
Chapter 1.
The whole week?
Every
No,
time I see you, you got that.
I do it on a it's called the scale feedback system. I do it in increments of 5 pounds.
So you know where we're at, Corey?
I think
I'll
we'll
fast, I'll go off,
No,
I'll
I
fast.
think eventually we'll.
So you just do it till you lose.
You're not in any position.
It's taking like 3 days. I'll do like 3 days on, 2-3 days off.
Checkers.
Usually Mondays I
Like
start
where
though.
we're at guy or something.
It's meeting time. Should we start or what?
Yeah, I just want you to start. I'm trying to start.
Yeah, I think there's more. All right, so it's meeting time. It's 7:30. Sermon on the Mount meeting.
Oh, yeah.
We read a paragraph,
Sorry.
and we share on the paragraph. If you need to share off topic, that's okay. But we try to stick to the topic of what we're reading.
Does anyone not have a book?
We finished the Beatitudes last week, so we're on As a Man Thinketh on page 47.
Dude, I just opened to that page.
Fantastic.
Just one open.
Well, it was probably a little
So we
creased from
try
last
to keep
week,
the
but-
meeting from turning into a shit show by raising our hands if we want to share. It's good to remember. And also say your name, because we have people online also that want to get to know us as well as each other. What else? Am I forgetting anything? We meditate for 4 minutes before the meeting just to try to get in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say before we start that there's a lot of people all over the world that can't get to meetings, that don't know what sobriety is. This isn't an AA meeting, which is why we can live stream it. And if you have anyone or you know anyone who wants to is looking for something or in pain or wants to be sober, just tell them about this meeting. They can attend through the YouTube, or they can just, I mean, if I don't know them, I'm probably not going to just want them to come here to the house. But so yeah, I would encourage everyone here to just spread the message if you want to. I think sometimes we forget that there are a lot of people who can't get to a meeting, and they've been stuck in their house for fucking 6 months, and they're fighting with their fucking partner or whatever. There's a lot of suicides from what I hear. Domestic violence is up, shit's up. So I think I almost feel as if I have an obligation to sort of be contributing in some positive way to and I think this is actually the most important thing I can do is look at where I'm fucking. And if we're all doing that, it could be a cool thing, So yeah, just if you want to.
All right, and the meeting's an hour and a half. There's some munchies in the kitchen. There's a bathroom in the house.
Mm-hmm.
There's coffee. Let us know if it gets empty. We'll make more. Who's gonna time tonight?
I can. Oh, you can? Yeah.
Thanks, Gus. So it's 3 minute share and then 2 minutes to wind up. So that's 5 minute shares. And all right, well, let's meditate for 4 minutes and see if we can't relax a little bit and stuff. We're on page 47. Well, probably what we do is read this and then go straight into the paragraph.
Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. The city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle, and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is heaven. In this wonderful passage, Jesus is addressing those who have awakened to the understanding of material bondage and have acquired some spiritual understanding of the nature of being. That is to say, he is addressing those who understand the meaning of the allness of God or good and the powerlessness of evil in the face of truth. Such people he describes as being the salt of the earth and the light of the world, and indeed that is not too much to claim for those who understand the truth and who really live the life that corresponds to it. It is possible, and in fact only too easy, to accept these vital principles as being true, to love the beauty in them and yet not put them consistently into practice in one's own life. But this is a perilous attitude, for in that case the salt has lost its savor and is good for nothing but to be cast down and trodden underfoot.
So you can share if you like, or
Can we do a recap?
you said you don't want to do the recap anymore.
Me personally.
Oh,
I don't want to be responsible for it. I think we should, whoever was here
Well-
last week, it might be cool to kind of catch people up who weren't here
yeah,
last
we've
week.
moved
or
on.
weren't
We're
here.
past the
Yeah.
attitudes now.
Alright.
We're on the as a man thinketh.
Just a big part I got of this paragraph that took me out was talking about vital principles as being true, to love them, but yet not putting them into practice in one's own life. And this is something I've been trying to really fucking work on every day. It's really hard sometimes with life, business, working. But like we come to this meeting and we talk about these beatitudes, these principles, this light that we all believe in, but to put them in practice every single second of the day, and that little fucking ego that comes up and just eats that shit alive every second. You're like, oh yeah, I'm a good person, but I gotta live with this light, but fuck this person or this business share or whatever's going on in the day. And now I try to, every second, just try to be in that heart space to not only just think about that light, but really be that light. And I think it's constantly just thinking about God, constantly believing and knowing that God is inside me. And when I believe in that connection, that God is inside me and not this external thing, then the light will always shine, because this almighty being is actually part of us. And that's just, sometimes that shit gets away from me, but some days better than the others, I guess. Right.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Didier.
Thank you, Didier.
Anyone else have anything to say on this paragraph?
Yeah, I'll just say that like I think that's like the whole that's like everything for me. What he just said, like applying it is so much different than knowing it and reading it. It's like I feel like I know all the shit.
Yeah.
So does my uncle, who's doing 10 years in prison. You know, he knows more. My Uncle Sean knows more about this shit than anyone. But he's fucking. So yeah, I don't. Knowledge avails us nothing. So yeah, when Alex, shit, I just fully outed this fool. this guy who used to work for me, this awesome guy who now is left, right? I'm like, I'm mad he left, and how do I apply this to that? No, I don't want to do it there. Fuck that fool. He did this, and that, and like, I've been through the same shit with Wickham, like when you work with people, you see it, and it's like hard, dude. It's harder to just be like, oh, okay. Fuck, dude, where was I wrong here? Like, I already know all the shit they did, and there's stuff that he did. But I guess it just doesn't matter at all what they did. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring up a specific example in my life today, this morning, that I woke up with text messages from a dude who is upset with me, and we just had like kind of a breakup, and I'm like upset with him, and I feel entitled. I feel that there's been a lack of gratitude. I feel me. What about me? I'm a fucking king baby, So basically, just to kind of share on this chapter, but also sort of recap what we've been reading in all of the Beatitudes. It's not about me. It's about everyone else and like God's will for me, which I never know what that really is. It could be different on any given day, but if I can get quiet and like feel that love and stuff, I can figure that out. And it's usually not, I'm not giving you your fucking shit till you give me my video. That's usually what it's not. You know what I mean? But that's what I do, Because I'm like, fucking, don't you know who the fuck I am? Like, you owe me some shit, fool. I paid you for some shit. Where's my shit? No, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to just be like, oh, yeah, man, here. Am I supposed to just be a little bitch and just get shit on and walked all over? So I actually would as we're talking about this, which it might not really relate, I'm sure we could relate it to the salt of the earth and how, having an ego and being like, where's mine? I don't think that's really being the salt of the earth. But I might ask a question, pretty much, I guess I would probably want to hear what Jonathan has to say about it, just because you're someone I look up to and appreciate, and I think you carry a crazy cool message, and I'm really grateful to have you here. So I guess my question would be, what's the difference between like being meek and like getting shitted on and walked all over? You know what I mean? Like, where do I find that? And anyone else can answer that question too, because I want to have humility and I want to be like of service, but I also need to have like certain boundaries and like not let people just take. And I think for women, this is a big issue with staying with like the abusive man and not knowing when to sort of take care of yourself, because that's a part of. Does that make sense? Can I ask Jonathan a question?
Sure. Why not? Hi.
Hey, John.
Hi. Thanks for doing this. This is really cool.
Cool. Thanks.
Really,
for coming.
really honored to be here. Happy
Right
to
on.
be here. Grateful to be here. And in one of the AA books, is it okay to say that? Yeah, okay.
That's a tool we use,
well,
right?
Yeah, so in one of the AA books, it defines humility as really simple thing. It's the desire to seek and do God's will, as opposed to self-will, me, hooray for me, fuck you, where's mine, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the true sense of humility, humility doesn't, at least by AA's definition, which is plenty good enough for me, humility is not defined as groveling or, meek in the sense like laying down and being a doormat and everybody, walks all over me. So that's not humble, there's no humility in that. That's actually could be quite egotistical, because the ego swings both ways. It swings every way but the straight and narrow way.
Right.
It's always like, I'm too good to, hang out with y'all, or, I'm not fit to shine your fucking shoes with my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never like a worker among worker, a friend among friends, just another guy. And that other guy can do incredible things when God is the power for that guy's life. So, I have to be constantly relating my will and my life to God, or else I'm either going to be somebody's doormat or you're going to be my doormat.
Right.
And, neither one of those really serves me as a child of God. As a child of God, it's my job to be of service, to be grateful, to, act according to those principles. And, I sure don't walk on water or do any of this shit perfectly, but I really strive. I don't like the word try. Sorry, Billy. But I don't like the word try because try implies the possibility of failure, whereas striving, it just works a little better for me because, so I strive, even with all my flaws and all my character defects and all my PTSD and all my paranoia and all my, inner rage and wounds and all this shit that I carry, as a recovered person in a path of recovery. Even with all that, I strive daily to relate my life to God. And, if I do this for a while, and I've been doing this, for almost 20 years on a pretty regular basis, and if I do this for a while, what happens is it builds almost like a new neural pathway in my mind, because the old way, it's like the old way, the way I came into this spiritual path, all my old habits and my old ways of being were like a fucking, 6-lane super highway with fucking awesome pavements and lights and, roadside assistance and everything. I mean, that shit is wired. Yeah. But when I'm trying to find the new way of life, I'm walking off into the jungle with a fucking machete, and fighting off poisonous snakes and, like, I gotta build that. And that's the only thing I can really say about having a little bit of time. Time is not a tool for recovery because, I could be 50 years sober and be a total dick. Mm-hmm. I could be a total dick today. But if the time is used to good purpose, and that could be 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 minutes, 2 years, whatever, if that time is used according to the teachings of these, spiritual principles, then there's no fucking limit, man. Mm. There is no limit. And this, I know this experientially. I didn't read this in a book. It's backed up by a lot of books I've read. Hey, but it's something that I've had to experience. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a guy today. That's I got 2 minutes more?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to use them because I was talking to a guy today who called me, and he was just like, everything sucks. I'm freaking out. I hate my life. I'm having such a hard time. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing. I just can't get it together. I can't seem to get on the beam. Everything is so difficult. And I'm like, bro, you just unloaded a shitload of negative affirmations on yourself.
Persecution.
It's like, as a man thinketh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rocket science, man. I've had to learn this. When I'm in a dark place, and I get in some pretty fucking dark places, it's easy for me to go there, man. I come from a very, fucked up world. And when I'm in that dark place, I have to be affirming that this too shall pass. I have to. And when I'm in a happy place, I also have to be affirming this too shall pass, because it's about God's will. It says in one of the books, thy will be done, how may I best serve thee? These are thoughts which must go with me constantly. It doesn't say must all the time in these books. So if it said must, it's kind of telling me there's something there that I really need to apply to my life. Or I could be that guy that talks the talk brilliantly because I got a good vocabulary. I'm a writer, you know, I publish books, I do all this. You know, I'm a public speaker. I've been interviewed hundreds of times. I've interviewed people hundreds of times. You know, I could talk real good.
Yeah.
But I can fall on my fucking face if I don't apply this shit to the walk. The daily trudge through all the hardships and adversities that are part of this great study known as life. And, you know, I mean, some days you eat the bear and some days the bear eats you. And it's like what I told this guy was, bro, you know, whatever you're going through, all I can tell you is, I'll wrap up with this, all I can tell you from my experience is that every time I've had to go through a really dark, depressing, horrible passage in my life, it's always been the beginning of some amazing new adventure that I could have never even imagined. So just keep going, brother. Don't give up the fight. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Jonathan, that was great.
Paul, alcoholic.
Oh.
Kind of like you said, keep going, you know. Right for the throat again, right in the first paragraph here, sentence here. In this wonderful passage, Jesus is addressing those who have awakened to the understanding of the material bondage and have acquired some spiritual understanding and of the nature of being. That is to say, he is addressing those who understand the meaning of the allness of good or God and the powerlessness of evil in the face of the truth. He's saying this right after we just beat up the Beatitudes, that we should have an understanding of what God and good is. And with that, like he says, keep going. I'm going to go all the way to the beginning of the preface. Second paragraph, it says here, do not imagine that you can assimilate all that is contained in one or two readings. It should be gone over again and again until you have thoroughly grasped the utterly new outlook upon life and the absolutely fresh scale of values which the Sermon on the Mount presents to mankind. Only then will you experience the new birth. So he's saying, keep trudging. You're not going to get it in one reading. So we must keep, like he said, keep trudging and keep, did you say striving? Not trying. Because
striving?
I could read this thing and forget it before the day's over. I could read this and forget it before I get in my car, and I'm even able to utilize this knowledge that I've gained, you know? And he knows that, and he knew that. That's why he wrote that at the beginning, that it's not going to be assimilated in one reading. To keep trying. He talks about the diamond mines in Africa, where the guy dug for a little bit of clay and he got a little bit, but then he went deeper and got more than he could find in one day. You know, he found more than he could find in 1 year in one day by just digging deeper. So we can always dig deeper and assimilate, and that's when you become a light of the world. When you utilize the stuff that you learn, you become a beacon of light that is attractive to those that are looking for the light. And it's going to talk about that later on in this paragraph. You become a light of the world and a salt, a flavor that people want to taste in this earth. By your example, they want to see where you're getting this light from.
Salt.
How you're becoming the salt and how you're becoming the light.
So
mine's are short and sweet.
Thanks, Paul.
Wow, we're off to a good start today.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I'm just asking if anyone else wants to share. We can move on if no one does.
If you understand and accept the teachings of Jesus, you should make every effort to practice them in every department of your own daily life. If you seek systematically to destroy in yourself everything which you know should not be there, things such as selfishness, pride, vanity, sensuality, self-righteousness, jealousy, self-pity, resentment, condemnation, and so forth, not feeding or nourishing them by giving them into them, but starving them to death by refusing them expression. If you extend the right through loyalty
The right
to
thought.
every person. Yeah, if you extend the right thoughts, loyalty to every person or thing within your ken, especially to the people or things you dislike, then you are worthy to be called the salt of the earth.
Damn.
He just answered your question.
There you go.
Yep.
I need to take a photo of this.
He
Yeah.
spoke too soon.
It's rough, man.
If.
Yeah,
that's an
that's a-
if, though. That's a condition.
That's the thing, man. It's like it's so hard to do the right thing, you know. It
That's
really
an
is.
affirmation, bro.
Yeah. Like I think for the most part, people need to go out of their way to do the right thing. Like it's so easy to like find $100 bill on the floor at Ralph's and be like, oh, I'm gonna put this in my pocket instead of like turning it in.
You can't turn it in because then anyone can find it.
No one knows that
Give
you're
it to
gonna
me.
find $100 bill. See, you're doing the wrong thing.
Say you see the person that dropped it. That's a
That's
different
yeah.
situation.
Sure,
You
right.
see the person drop it. That's
Yeah.
$100. That's a C note.
Yeah, whatever it is, you know, like it's really hard not to like watch porn or you know whatever like your vice is. So yeah, that's like the work, all of this stuff: vanity, pride, sensuality, self-righteousness, jealousy, self-pity, resentment, condemnation, and so forth. Like there's so much shit, you know. I guess like you just have to work, you know, do the best, strive to be the best person you can, and not give them any thought. Like I remember you saying, Jonathan, like, I fucking starved that shit. I remember you said that in
The
prime
two
time.
wolves.
I said that. I remember you in prime
Or
time. You're
something.
like, I just starve all those emotions. Until
Well, I
you're like-
strive to, because I can't.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or you said,
It's
I'm
the-
gonna starve you. So I'm gonna strive to starve them. Whatever you said. I remember you said it in
It's
prime
the
time.
work.
Yeah.
It's the work.
I mean, that's a heavy paragraph. It kind of just sums it all up in like what we're trying to do and a new character we're trying to build. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thanks, Gus.
Sure.
Tim.
Tim.
No, I mean, it's just a question. So basically, none of us are salt of the earth, are worthy of calling ourselves it.
Look what it says here.
It's a good
After what
question.
he just read, by starving them to death, by refusing them expression, if you extend the right thought loyally to every person or thing within your kin, especially to those people or things you dislike, then you are
Especially.
worthy to be called the salt
I know.
of the
So
earth.
what my question is, even on my best day, I've given into probably one of those to a certain degree.
You're worthy.
I not according to
Well,
this.
no, he's
I'm
saying
not-
he's
I'm not-
giving into those negative
Oh, you
emotions.
give
I-
into it.
I mean, let's just say on my best day, I didn't give into any, but that's like on my best day.
Then you're the salt.
Okay, I'll
For a
answer
second.
your
So that's kind of what I was saying is like I don't know anybody that doesn't feed into them a little bit.
Jason does pretty well.
I've had some conversations.
So I've had these conversations with my sponsor because it's impossible,
Mhm.
I think. And it's something we're striving for. It's a perfection that we're always working towards. Like, I don't know that anyone gets there, but in the process, your life gets a lot better. The one thing that every time I read this just bugs me. So, could someone look up what sensuality means? Because I definitely don't want to give that up, whatever that is.
Who's our Jamie?
The senses.
I got you.
Yeah.
Sensuality.
Five senses.
Sensuality.
Yeah, see, everything else, I can be, you know, I don't mind being like nice and loving in a general way towards people I don't like and stuff. It takes work, but I don't want to give up the sense pleasures. It just irritates me that it's in there.
Corey,
Can
I think it's,
Oh, go ahead.
it's not that you're giving up any senses at all. I think it's when you're seeking those above other things that are more important.
Yeah.
The sensuality
Yeah.
is when you're placing the wrong priority on it. You know?
There's
Makes
two
sense.
definitions. Sensuality, the enjoyment, expression, or pursuit of physical, especially sexual pleasure. Or number two, the condition of being pleasing or fulfilling to the senses. That's what I got here.
Senses.
sensuality.
That's all I got. Anyone else? I like that though. I'm gonna use that.
Pleasing self.
I have one other thing to add. I think just to
Name?
Corey.
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 And, of course, none of us are perfect, and it's saying if we loyally, we extend the right thought loyally. I think in that time we're effective in being the salt. Not that we're always perfect in doing it, but at that time we're effective in being the salt and bringing, making this palatable for the rest of us, to each other. This world that sometimes we see as bland or not enjoyable. When we are acting in these things that we've learned, this truth that we've learned, this new nature, when we have integrity in it and consistently are applying it, at that time we are effective and are worthy of being called the salt at that time. And of course we're all going to fail. And like you were saying, keep striving, keep going forward, and in forgiveness toward each other, we're gonna have to keep coming back to that and be consistent in that.
Billy,
That was
man,
good.
this guy. He's not even an AA.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
he
even
gets
covered.
it.
I love it though.
Yeah, because
He's the
it
shit.
totally reminded me. In the moment, which
That's
is
the
always
only
the moment,
thing.
there's
Yeah.
only now.
That's what
So
it
if
says
you're
right
doing
here.
it right now, then you got it right now.
That's what it said.
That's
Even
it.
in AA, it says progress, not perfection, but then it also warns you that, it's perilous to rest on our laurels, because if you use progress, not perfection, I got pissed off and kicked the dog, but it's progress, not perfection. Nah, it's, that it don't cut it,
Yeah.
because then I'm resting on my laurels. But if I'm a defective human being, which is kind of a given, I don't have no laurels to rest on. So I'm resting on, shit, basically. And that's perilous. So,
Dude, the only time that's real is this moment right now. That's the weirdest concept. Like the present moment, so prime time is now. An awesome website. What that means is this is the only time I can be the salt of the earth. I can only do it right now. And I right now, because I'm with you guys and God exists in the connection I make with other people, and when we're doing this stuff, I'm feeling those feelings. I'm extending the right thought loyally to every person or thing, especially the people I dislike. So like right now, I'm actually doing that with this person who I was upset with all day. Like right now, I'm actually feeling loving toward them because of this. Because I don't know. Because I feel good about myself. But yeah, the crazy thing is that the future is not here, and the past is gone. And so if I can just be in this moment and try to do that now, in every moment, I don't need to be like, oh, I wasn't doing it yesterday, so I might as well not even try to do it today. Or if I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow, so fuck it, So it's kind of a weird, it's a hard concept to grasp, this present moment being the only thing that's real. I'm still striving to grasp that, and I think meditation is a cool thing to help you understand what can't be understood, and I think that's what God is too. It's something that our finite minds will never be able to understand, because that concept is infinite, So this is just like, this is the best. It's like, I love how Tim's asking the logical question, like he's a logical thinker, and he's like, and you're kind of right, nothing is ever permanent or fixed or solved in the spiritual realm, It's only this kind of present moment happening in each moment. It's like a different way of looking at everything, I think.
I think it'd be boring if we were all just perfect.
But I think accepting the fact that we're not, and being like, oh, the ego has incredible recuperative powers, and they're going to. I was talking about this with Michaelis last night, about how I feel like a lot of times when we do this stuff, we think there's some kind of answer or solution to fix us, but it's in each moment, in each day. We have to redo it because it's a human condition, like ego and selfishness and self-centeredness and like that fear-based security thing, like survival instinct. Like we have to kill, we have to like survive, you know? We have that caveman mentality like in our fucking bones. Like if we don't get the food, we're not going to be fed, you know? So we're fighting against that human condition, which isn't just in alcoholics. That's why I love this meeting, because all are welcome, because I do believe this is like a human condition. I think that's why humans created this flawed solution, which is religion, to fix that. And then we took this and we turned it into some human thing, which is fucked up, which is religion. So I think my goal here is to bring it back to what it's supposed to be, which is just like concepts and principles that we can study and not worry so much about, was there a snake, or was Jesus like actually like a person from this place, and was the sun? It's like I don't really want to debate any of that. Like are these principles working in my life when I apply them? And like Jonathan said, like he knows from experience that they do work, and I do too. Like if I could have just let this dude get what he wanted to get and not had my ego be like, no, I don't want to give you this until you give me that, I'd be in a better situation. Danielle would be in a better situation because I had her fucking heating this fool up. And my shit just created all this like bullshit that was unnecessary, because I'm like, what about me? Like I'm in fear, I'm not going to get what I want, so I'm holding something that this other person wants. Kind of like using this example from today. There'll be another one tomorrow. Billy just got into a fight yesterday. I'm sure he has an example from his life.
Ouch.
The reason I say it would be boring.
Hold on, we
Oh,
got
go ahead.
Mikey.
Oh, we raise hands around here, right?
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Mikey, alcoholic addict. No, sorry, I'm just joking. It's been good. I'm aware that I said that. No, but that's my point. Is hearing everyone shares and striving and like this reading about what it's saying. You know, not to feed. It's like, for me, I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict. You know, and that's not an excuse. But when I was using and I was drinking, like I had no concept of anything else except myself. So what this meeting has done, and Alcoholics Anonymous has done, and a relationship with a higher power, somebody greater than myself. I mean, because sometimes it's hard for me to realize that somebody's greater than me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, right. I mean, it's like, but ego, right? What is the definition of ego? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you. Edging God out.
Yep.
Okay, should I say that again? Edging God out. So if I'm living in ego in any situation, and if I'm aware that I need to have a spiritual awakening and a relationship with a higher power, I can't live in ego. So drugs and alcohol are taken out of the picture. I'm still left with this emptiness in my heart. And for me, that's been a relationship with God. You know, I don't do it perfectly, but I'm going to use this strive. Like I've said it a million times. Well, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try. So now I want to strive to not edge God out in any situation. Like God has, for me to succeed in anything, and I'm just talking about, for me to be a father, I have to have God in the midst of my family. Not like, you know, so, and that's success to me, is being a present father and being a father who, you know, disciplines my daughter, who looks after her, who takes care of her, because I've said it before this meeting, my relationship with my daughter and the relationship I have with my higher power, they go hand in hand. Like, my daughter will need me tomorrow differently than she needed me today. I have to be aware of that. And if I'm, if I edge God out of my life or her life or my friends' lives or whatever it might be, I will slowly start to not be aware of what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Like, I will just go, and that's what drugs and alcohol did for me. They led me down a deep, dark tunnel with no light at the end. And I've been there in recovery. Next month I'll have 17 years. I don't know how I did it. But when I recognized and was aware that I'm edging God out of my life, I went right back. Because that's the answer. That's the truth for me. So, anyways, thanks for letting me share.
All right, Mikey.
Thanks, Mikey.
Thanks, Mikey. We have somebody here in the live chat, this guy Ray J, who's just writing some pretty cool shit. I just want to read it because I just appreciate everyone who's like participating in the live stream, and they're kind of talking amongst themselves, and I'd love to be able to give them a little like a voice also if we're still figuring all this out, and who's going to be the person to kind of do that. But he said, these are the remnants, people who have been building their testimony for years. When it's all said and done, these are the types of people Jesus sat with. This is the heart of God. I appreciate every one of you for being brave and courageous, for being transparent and open, to trust us with all of your information and stories. That is what I call strength. Pat, I commend you for spearheading this much needed gathering. Your mess has definitely turned into a message. Keep lightening up the darkness.
Yeah, you're not going to cry again, are you?
That's tear worthy.
No, it's cool. I'm just joking around. Anyone else? Are you guys watching the stream at all? Is there any other questions you want to address or anything?
Yes, someone asked, can you talk about how you perform under pressure while staying sober, especially when they're drinking, drugging around? I don't know who that is.
Perform under pressure when there's drinking and drugging around and you're sober?
Have another drink.
Baby boy.
Yeah, that's like a
Learn to breathe, man.
How do you be around other people when using?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just know I can't do. Once I know that, like in my heart of hearts, it's just not an option.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't really. It doesn't bother me if you're gonna do it. You're not allergic to it the way I am. But if I don't know that, really, if I don't really know that, if I haven't really done step one, it's going to be probably hard. You know what I mean? I'm going to be like, well, maybe I can take some of that.
I would just say if you haven't been sober for quite some time, it's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat, right away, and you were around it too.
I was around it right away. With less than a year sober. But that for me, it's like kind of like what Pat said. Sorry, Mikey Alcoholic. It's like for me, I couldn't take a look. First of all, it was part of my job, not to be around drugs, but what I did when I first got sober and what I did before I got sober.
What'd you do, bro? I
was doing music. So I went on tour with less than a year sober, and I was surrounded. I mean, I've never seen more cocaine in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, but I knew that if I was going to get loaded, I'd be the first one off the bus with my clothes off, running into the dark. Like, I knew that. I knew that. I knew, no, I mean, so that's kind of what I had to hold on to. So it's like, but there's also times where I don't feel like being around it.
Yeah, that's important.
That's so that doesn't mean I cut off all my friends and my family and this and that, but it's like, I have to know my limit.
Yeah.
I have to know, okay, you know, maybe I didn't pray enough or meditate this morning and I'm irritated or this is going on and I feel a certain way, but it's like with time, I've learned how to put one foot in front of the other, and I know for myself that no matter what anybody around me is doing, it's not going to affect me. It's me personally. So it has to be a very personal thing when it comes to, hi, I'm Mikey, I'm an alcoholic. I cannot drink or do drugs because when I do those things, I do nothing. I lose everything. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, now, like listening to Mikey share, it made me realize, because I didn't really understand the question, but now I understand the question. Thank you, because
I'll be here all night.
yeah. Thank
What?
you again.
No?
I don't know. Are you sure?
I actually got to run.
So, the question is like different fucking strokes, man, because, everybody, like, when I was real early sober, I heard somebody say, somebody who I really respected say, dude, this is, this program is custom made for each and every one.
Yeah.
The things that keep me sober might get you fucking drunk.
Right.
And the things that, get me, the things that, basically, the things that, when I was first sober, man, I was like 2 months sober, and I went on a tour of Japan sponsored by the fucking Yakuza boss, and I was and I was working surrounded by these guys, just like constantly drinking, top shelf whiskey and like, hookers everywhere and fucking blow and like you name it. And I'm like, no, man, thank you very much. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm just here to be of service and do my work. I'm not here to do that because guess what? I did that shit for fucking 40 years, man. I've ruined my fucking life with that shit, So, and then later on in my sobriety, I lived amongst fucking crack addicts, man. Like heavy, dark, insane. I lived in a real, like gun-ridden, bullets flying through the air in a fucking favela in Brazil, in basically a gigantic, open-air crack house. And for me, that was where I needed to be.
You were sober through all of it.
I was sober. Not only was I sober, I was fucking carrying a message of light into the darkest fucking places, and lives have been saved because I had the privilege and the honor and the blessing to be a channel in these dark ass places that I knew well, that no fucking sane human being would sit their foot into these fucking places. And I'm living there amongst like the dregs of humanity, and by the grace of God, man, I was able to pull a few souls out of there who went back and pulled a few more out of there, and who knows the good that came from that, and it says in the big book, and it doesn't say, I'm not saying I recommend this for everybody, this would get a lot of people fucking loaded in a minute.
Yeah.
It's not that way for me, man, because the first step is a step that I've suffered, deeply and effectively, and I know what it means when they talk about, pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. I know what that smells like. I know what that feels like. I know what that is. I don't know it because I know the words. I know it because I lived in fucking hell. And, that gives me the honor and the privilege and maybe even the responsibility to reach my hand back into hell and say like, yo, brother, been there. Compassion. The word compassion comes from Latin roots. In Portuguese, it's compaixão. Com, in Latin, means together with, and paixão means suffering, the passion of Christ. So, compassion comes when I have suffered what you're suffering. If you're in deep, dark pain, I can talk to you, bro, because I've been there and done that. You know, I'm not preaching to you. I'm not on some lofty place saying like, oh, you know, you just got to get your shit together. No, man. I know what you're going through because I've been there and done that, and I feel it in my bones, and that gives me compassion. That's the only compassion I know. That doesn't mean, you know, some guy sticks a knife in my back, I'm going to be like, oh, that's okay. You know, no, that, you know, to answer your original thing, you know, but compassion is like, well, you know, how many knives have I stuck in somebody's back? You know?
Passion means pain.
It means
Or
it means shared suffering in like, you know, in a colloquial
Keep this
translation.
live going. Keep this live going. Don't cut this shit out because I know you do what you do when you go out and manipulate shit. Oh, I'm sorry about that, bro. By the way, like, I just want to set the record straight because you disrespected me. And I told you, yeah, don't talk about my open case, bro.
I didn't say.
You and
I'm
him are
talking
making
about.
a fun
I'm
thing.
talking about someone else.
That's fine. No,
I never mentioned you once today.
Okay, but I'm just saying you're making it funny on TikTok. You're trying
I
to get
never
famous.
mentioned
First
you
off,
once
bro,
today.
you're not sober 15 years, so that's bullshit. You've been in car accidents, broke your
this is
collarbone.
cool. This
That's
is all
cool. No,
good.
this is what you want because people need to see this shit.
No,
you wanted this.
I
This
don't
is like,
want this. I'm just saying.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
telling you, bro. I asked you something nicely. And this
saying,
guy,
no,
the
it's
reason
okay.
I fought this
What's
guy,
that?
the reason I fought
What?
this guy,
It's okay.
the reason I
It's
fought
okay.
this guy was because he put his hands on me first.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Just
cool.
set the story straight, bro. He put his
You
hands
can
on me
set
and
it
I went
straight.
self-defense.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm
Give
just
me a
letting you
couple
know.
of feet, dude.
I'm sorry,
Don't
bro.
play
I'm
that shit.
pissed. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay
I'm
if you're
just ready to
not.
let you. Okay, that's cool. That's why I'm coming to you.
I'm not
I don't do
tripping.
online shit.
But I'm
I
not.
asked you before.
I'm not trying to say
Okay,
anything that's
I'm
not
letting
true
you
either.
know, bro.
And you're right. I'm not sober 15 years.
Okay, so don't rep that shit.
No,
Don't rep it.
but I have been in recovery 15
That's
years.
fine, but
I,
you
I
rep
was
it.
I was on Oxy. I was
I
on
don't care, bro.
Norco
I've been through all this shit too.
because I
I
had
don't give a fuck.
injuries.
That's fine.
And I was
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit because this real sober guy isn't gonna do the shit.
and
that
I
you
was
did.
prescribed.
And you are, bro. You're like promoting sexual shit on TikTok with little kids. That's fucked up. Bro.
I don't think it is. But
Okay,
you
but
can
little
if you
kids
want
watch
to.
that shit. If I had a kid and the kid's watching you and you're promoting sexual shit, that's
I don't
fucking
think there's
low.
anything wrong with
I'm
sex.
letting you know I think that's fucking low, bro. Because
That's
little kids
okay.
shouldn't be like, oh shit, this fool made $60,000 online.
Yeah, I don't
now,
think-
my little daughter, I hope she does some sexual shit.
I don't have a
To-
problem with that.
I'm letting you know,
and
bro.
it's not sexual. It's not just
You
sexual.
caused this shit.
It's not just
I
sexual.
asked
It's
you-
a lot of other stuff.
That's
too.
fine, but I'm just saying, I told you, bro, please don't talk about my open case.
I never did.
And you're talking about it on TikTok, bro.
But that was yesterday.
I don't give a fuck. I'm letting you know, bro, that ain't
Few
cool.
more minutes.
Charlie, is this the right fucking time?
This is the perfect time because listen.
We're trying to
when
have a
I did-
meeting, bro.
Okay, I don't
No,
care
it's
about your
okay.
meeting. I'm letting you know, bro, you disrespecting me and I don't care as long
I
as
think he heard you.
okay, that's fine, but I'm just letting you know, bro.
I heard you.
Like, that's what you
Let's
did
break.
when I
Why don't
asked
you
you
come
not
back
to.
later
And there
and
is
have a
no
quick
like perfect
conversation?
timing for shit.
No, no,
Because
no.
clearly you don't care.
I do
Why would
care.
I care?
I
No,
do care.
Why would I care about your timing or your whatever meeting when I asked you, bro? We can't be talking about
there's
some shit.
Now you're
other people
disrespecting the whole
Hey,
bunch
that's
of
fine,
people,
man.
dude.
Because like honestly, he disrespected me, so I don't got.
That's
well,
between you
No,
guys.
because you're the
That's
most
fine.
important person in the
That's
world.
between
I'm
you
letting you
guys.
know,
Right,
bro.
not the 50 people watching.
I don't care about those people.
I know you don't.
I really don't. Bro.
I know you don't.
You did this to me. I told you, bro. Last time I came here, I wanted to come here again and be cool with you, but you just fuck up a relationship.
What did? Well, first of all, what are you even
Just because I
talking
tell
about?
you things straight up, bro.
But what are you even talking
Wait,
about?
Pat, do you want to continue this?
You
story
talking about the
There is
fight?
no perfect time.
The fight you had with Billy and
I'm
me
talking
saying
about
that. I never even
Like
mentioned
how
your
they're
name.
threatening to kill him?
I
Why
didn't
don't-
threaten
I
him.
never even.
Leave, Charlie.
I didn't crit- I
Charlie,
didn't
you're
threaten
not welcome.
No,
back.
hold up, though.
No, Pat,
No,
this
but
is
hold on.
out of
This is
line.
not-
Go.
that's fine.
No.
This is inappropriate.
You know
Walk
what?
out with him.
cool.
Walk
No.
out with
Okay,
him.
cool.
Take him out.
That's
Here's
fine.
my thing, though.
Walk out with
You
him. Let
actually-
everyone continue.
I,
No, no,
I'm just letting you know, bro. Like you did this.
I just want to
And I
say one
told you,
thing.
don't
Just
talk
go.
about my
No,
open
no, no.
case. That's all I'm gonna say.
No.
And fuck everybody watch that shit. Don't talk about my open case. That's some bitch shit.
The crazy part is he actually is welcome. That's the crazy part.
Right
No, no, no,
now.
no, no. Let me just say.
I knew he was going to show up. I just had to
No, it's
all
okay.
day.
Check this out, though. He's welcome.
Yeah.
I'm all good. I want him here.
I know, but
No, because that's what this shit looks like. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like.
He's fully in his disease.
He is in his disease, and he needs to be here. And I'm gonna go try to calm him down
well,
and have him sit down because he could be the most important person in
I
this
don't know
room.
if right now is the
I
time.
don't think that
he
that's
doesn't
good.
He's a little
listen. I
wound
tried.
Yeah, he's
You know,
yeah. I'm not, but like I don't want to.
you might get him more wound up by having
I'm a
that
little
discussion.
concerned that
You
my
know?
friend just took him out.
Okay, I'm gonna go check it out. Continue.
Okay, it's
I'm
good.
gonna go talk to him. Sorry about that. So this guy said that I just turned my mess into my message, but it's messy. This shit is messy. Life gets messy, relationships get messy, and I think it's okay. That's what learning to lose is all about. Learning to accept drama and be able to fight with someone. I had issues with Wickham. He's here now. We're good. Like, I've had issues with people, and to be able to get through those and to be able to, I'm going to go try to shine some light and love on Wickham, on Charlotte. You know what I mean?
Do you want to spearhead this? Because I have to pee. I really have to pee so bad. I've been holding it.
Go. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Where were we? Paul. You're on
I'm about to knock somebody out right now.
yeah, right? Page 48, third paragraph.
Easy,
My dog.
Tiger.
Okay, page
Paul's like,
48.
48, second paragraph.
Third.
Third?
I read the second one.
If you truly live this life, then it does not in the least matter what your present circumstances may be, or what difficulties you may have to struggle against. You will triumph over them all. You will make your demonstration. And not only will you make your own demonstration in the quickest possible time, but you will be, and in a very positive and literal sense, a healing and illuminating influence on all around you, and a blessing to the whole human race. You will be a blessing to men and women in remote places and times, men and women of whom you have never heard and who will never hear of you. A light of the world, in fact. Startling and wonderful as that may sound. Yeah, I used to really dig into this paragraph. All you can do is make your demonstration. Really? As much as I wanted to choke slam this kid, I know where that can go. And
I wanted you to also.
My demonstration is to
The amazing thing is I didn't.
let him know in words.
I just had a fight with
You
him
know?
I mean,
yesterday.
yeah, but I used to be that guy.
All I could do is make a demonstration, and maybe people that know my story, that have been where I've been, and that know me and have seen me knock people out, can see that I could really take a breath and not take action like that.
Rastafari.
Selassie.
Love
And
it.
you know, it's really being a light of the world. And to people online that saw that, I'm sorry you had to see that, but that's a demonstration of what can really happen. You know, it can really happen. Things get fishy, and sometimes you gotta pull out more worms.
Oh. Go ahead, T.
Go ahead, bro.
Just gonna say, we were talking about how we apply these, which is maybe one of the most important things, how we remember to apply all the selflessness to our lives, and it's saying it over and over again, right? Like the muscle. Because what's crazy is like, there's a lot of people that could be hot-headed, could be get into that mode right now, and I've never seen somebody come in more crazy and the room of people, because we're practicing right now, be the calmest I've ever we're watching this and we're all like, huh? We're like floating around. I'm just going like, this is like where this is how it's implied. So it's like if you get your own system of like reminding yourself in some way or another, like this shit was kind of bananas. There's a lot of like, I don't know. We were all
no
calm.
one wanted to
It
stop.
was
Yeah.
peculiar, huh?
Yeah. And that's what I got on that.
On
Thanks,
what,
Tim.
Charlie?
No.
Or no, something
It
else?
was? It kind of was. Yeah, it was.
It's just
related
run
to
of the mill, you know?
Who else wants to share?
Anyone
You want
else?
to share on that, Pat?
Gus, will you take over? I gotta use the bathroom.
Share on what?
Well, the paragraph we just read, but you weren't here, so
You just going through paragraphs?
yeah.
I just read the next paragraph.
All right,
I can read it again.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, Gus.
Yeah.
I don't want to just like. I want to really understand each paragraph, because There's so much here.
I'll read it again, and I already shared, so whoever wants to share.
Well, I mean, but
afterwards.
even just the beginning, even just that first, a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Like that first, even just this first, like I don't know that we really unpacked everything
PDA
that
read?
there was to unpack in everything that we've read so far. So I just want to, as we're reading, I would encourage everyone to just kind of
We're on 48, not 49.
Yeah, no, I'm reading 47.
Okay.
Just because I'm looking at this like let your
You're
light.
way back now.
I'm looking at like that first.
Yeah, the salt of the earth.
Yeah, just to because that's the thing, and then everything else after that is explaining that.
Yeah.
So I think it might be cool to kind of go back to that once in a while and just kind of look at how like let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify you. This is just like hard, man. Like what just happened is tricky, but I feel like it's
right on time, though.
Why?
Because it was what we were talking about was a demonstration in the next paragraph.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can
Tim,
demonstrate.
Tim,
You
repeat
can
what you said.
demonstrate where you're at and show
Tim
how
had a
you're a
great
light of
share.
the world.
Yeah, I just feel like it could be. I think that you without knowing all the pieces, you could easily.
Well, I could have buried that guy right now.
Obviously, that's not. I actually, low key, I was tripping. He was gonna throw the camera and start fucking shit up. That's all I'm caring. I just didn't want him to fuck up the equipment. I'm good. I'm down to. I just tried to find him. I'm not like any stranger to confrontation. Like I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. But I'm saying that like.
It was a lot for me not to put hands on him right now, easily.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hands on him.
I'm just saying.
I'm
that, like,
serious.
No, but what I'm saying is that.
He goes, let me get a couple
I don't know. It's just hard because I'm thinking.
I wouldn't have even had to know where it was coming from back in the day. I wouldn't have had to know.
Well, tell him I love him.
I just need that energy.
And I want to try to talk to him. I want to talk to him. But I'm just thinking, yeah, whatever.
Let him go deal with his demons.
But that happens in meetings, you get a guy walk in and
Yeah.
that happened in prime time a couple times. There was this one guy who walked
The
up
boy
to the
with the tattoo on
podium.
his
He
face?
said, "I know you're fucking talking to me, motherfucker."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he was
kid,
just like,
huh?
he was one of the people in the meeting, right? So this is actually, I'm realizing something right now that is important because like we think it's always all about us. Like, so he's came in here thinking that everyone's thinking about him and talking about him, and now that he came in here and hit me with that, now I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking, whoa, how did that make me look, right? I'm thinking, yo, like, from the wrong, if you're looking at this from the wrong way, maybe they're thinking that I'm some villain and I hurt him. And
It's not wrong or right.
yeah, it is.
It's
just
how you think about it, though. How's a man thinking?
Yeah, it's just drama, and drama's a part of life, and
Life's gonna go forward. That's gonna pass, like you said. This too shall pass too.
God willing.
I'm just glad I didn't have to pass it up in his ass.
Oh, wow, easy touch.
no, actually, I was actually talking about this too yesterday. How
Yeah.
with certain, when you're dealing with alcoholics, and you were in Brazil, and they're violent, and sometimes people don't hear words, they only hear fists, and I've had to fight with he's one of the two brothers that are my cousins, and we fought on a boat 2 years ago, and it's on YouTube. We rowed a boat out to their boat because they wouldn't board me and my brother and their two brothers. But it's crazy. I was crying last week because they grew up in this house.
Wow.
Down the street where me and my brother grew up in using drugs, and they were the little kids, and they were around all this, right?
Wow.
So they looked up to me. Charlie looked up to me, and all he saw me doing was drugs.
Damn.
And now he's in this his brother's in jail, and it's like I feel kind of like it's just family dynamics, you know, and I just want to see if there's anything I can do.
So why did he throw down with Billy?
Well, because Billy's living in the house that he used to live in.
That's a good reason to punch somebody.
Well, because if you come home if you get out of jail and you get home and you see someone sleeping in your bed or in the bed in your house, and you're no longer allowed to live in that house because the landlord of that house is my parents.
He's untreated, dude.
And they kicked him out. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. For sure. He's untreated.
Damn.
But I love him, and like,
But Tim was talking about how we're all over here like treated.
Well, we were in the middle of you couldn't be more with God than we were, and we were all just like we all just sat so chill. Like,
well, but that's what's so cool. But that's what's for me, the coolest thing, and the way you can display this the most is when something like that happens and you're not like wanting to fight that fool. Like that's what's up.
Well,
because that's where this shit. No, I'm serious, bro. Like that's where this shit comes. Like
he was all up on me.
I know, but like think about what would Jesus do. Like Jesus isn't gonna be put. But I'm saying though, like we're reading some shit right now.
Can I have a sip of this shit?
We're not fighting. We're not trying to fight people.
No, we have ceased fighting.
Right. So we need to apply that.
Everyone, especially alcohol.
Like the old me right there.
Yeah, but we need to be able to apply this and not want to fight that
That's
person.
what I'm saying. That's the old me. And
like I want to get up and hug that kid.
We hugged it out there. He's all right.
That's dope. But I actually think that was really amazing display of like what we're up against. This isn't spirit. Let's be spiritual. No, this is a fucking dark, dirty world with sick fucks. I'm not saying he's one of them. I love him. He's fine. I'm just saying we're sick. They're sick. It's all good. Sickness is okay. I'm not like gonna like run away from it or shy away from it. Like I want to lean into it and go to those places. That's just
where God calls you. Then you go.
That's just where I'm. Well, that's where I want to be.
If
you know.
you don't want to be there, you don't go. Mm-hmm. You do what's best for you.
I want to be
always
in the gutters, but that's just. I like
you
that
need
shit.
to read some of my books, bro.
I have, bro. I mean, I haven't read the full. It's hard, but
it's hard to.
Well, remember we spoke. I wanted to listen to them on audio.
There's only one on audio.
Well, I'm gonna listen to it because last time we spoke, you were still trying to get them up.
No, there's one on audio.
Yeah.
But only one. They're really, really dirty.
So we're gonna do a podcast after this meeting with John.
Oh, I thought we're still doing a meeting.
Yeah, we're still doing the meeting.
There's Billy.
Yeah, we just read this one paragraph, which is full of good
Should I read it again?
Yeah.
Since people were not here? Okay. Do this again. If you truly live this life, then it does not in the least matter what your present circumstances may be, or what difficulties you may have to struggle against. You will triumph over them all. You will make your demonstration. And not only will you make your own demonstration in the quickest possible time, but you will be, in a very positive and literal sense, a healing and illuminating influence on all around you, and a blessing to the whole human race. You will be a blessing to men and women in remote places and times, men and women of whom you have never heard and who will never hear of you, a light of the world, in fact, startling and wonderful as that may sound. Yeah, because you might say something to somebody and they'll go carry the same message to somebody, and you'll never get to meet these people. You change the world by just being a positive influence and radiate light. You know, light of the world, influence on people that are about that life, you know? Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
That's the most important.
I mean, like that. I guess. Like,
what did you say?
I guess that's like the topic of the night, right? It's like it's really easy to be godly and live with someone that has like-minded views as you, and you be loved and God-like to someone who fucking doesn't like you at all, or ridicules you, or brings up fucking triggers in you, or this dude that comes in and I mean. Pat always gets on me for like oversimplifying shit. but like sometimes it's just like that simple. Like anything that's just not from love. Love to me is God and the one. Anything that doesn't come from that place is ego. It's just, that's what it is. And any other time that I could try to rationalize my decision, that's just the ego rationalizing the decision. So anything that's ungodly, that's not from love, that's just the ego. So it's fucking one or the other. So it's like my mind can make a million different fucking routes of how to manipulate my mind to thinking I'm in the right place, but if I'm not with God, living from love in every decision, like that man right there, that man in front of me just comes in yelling. Can I look at that man like that person's me? And love that boy?
I can.
You know what I mean?
That is me.
And like that's the kind of thing is like I have a big my belief in spirituality is like that we are one and we are connected, and I believe everyone has a dharma and a karmic cycle, and if I can look at every single person in here as they're just an extension of who I fucking am, let them run their karma, dude. Like that's their own bag. It's not my bag. It's not. Like Jonathan said, it's, dude, what it works for you, doesn't work for me, and likewise. But I could, any other decision around me looking at that person or looking at anyone besides like love and like compassion, any other, it's just straight ego. And we fucking know that. And like I know some of the people in this room, I went to school with them, they will they'll take them out real fast. And I saw and I looked at you guys because we've all been in fights together and I've seen it. And I saw the heatedness and I see that. But like, that's like, to me, that's like one of the most beautiful gifts. Is this dude coming in and like tugging at our egos of just like, hey, remember, like I'm still alive and like let's take this like maybe as a learning thing. Instead of like, fuck this dude. Like that was a fucking layup. That was a layup from the book to life, and
I walked out of here in
it's
one
like
piece.
a beautiful. Like Charlie's like walk-in to me was like the most beautiful share of the night.
Yeah, no, like I'm with you, bro.
Because it's like this is like that's the real shit.
That's what's up, dude. And I want him to be here right now.
That's his own karma. He'll get that's.
He's got to
that's
deal
not
with his
your
own
problem.
demons.
That's it.
Corey.
Thanks.
Corey.
PDA.
Somebody made the point that was perfectly timed, and I think I agree. It's like, it forced us all to apply exactly what we're reading right now.
Right now.
Like Tim, you said exactly that. Each of us are making a demonstration. Either it's light, or it's putting the light under a bushel. You know, either we're all making a demonstration by everything that we do, and it's either light or it's covering the light. And how many of us said that you wanted to do this or that to him?
Yeah.
That's the salt losing its savor,
Yeah.
and removing the value of the salt. And
I lost a little salt there.
Sugar.
I'm pretty spiritual guy too.
But that's the best thing is when you can see it. Like
Aware.
I love that. Like this guy, like this guy's a big, like hard
It wouldn't have
looking
took not
guy.
2
Like
seconds.
it's not easy for Paul.
No, this guy's a straight up fucking thug.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like for him to be able to say, "I lost a little salt," that's humility. Like that's what it's all about.
But I'm drinking
Live
snake
with that.
juice. There's like
That's
5 salts in here.
Really alcoholic.
Really.
What I really like about this paragraph is it gives me hope. And, it says no matter what your circumstances are, you'll triumph over them all. If you truly live this life. And you will have your demonstration. And, my light blew up about almost 4 months ago. And I thought, oh, fuck. The cat's out of the bag. Everything's fucked. I'm screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all kind of just turning around to be, like you said, blessings. It's actually better now. I mean, there is some wild cards that haven't been dealt yet, like my kid. And why I always look for hope is because I have a physical ailment. It's I bring this up too much, but it really tortures me. And I feel like, is it possible? You used to talk about no limitation, right? And I try to go there. Because maybe it could. I mean, no matter what your circumstances are, or maybe it just doesn't bother you, or you see it as a gift, or however that operates. But I just get a lot of hope out of this paragraph. That's all. Thanks.
Tim.
Tim.
Timmy boy.
I actually have trouble with that same one. Like, this is where it starts to lose me, right? And so, I mean, as soon as this stuff starts talking about like facts, like you do that, like if it could just say to me like, if you live like this, your odds are gonna be this one. And I'm all about hope, right? Hope is a great thing, and if it's saying your odds are like this, but like, when I read something like that, Jesus states it as a fact, or whoever is saying it states it as a fact. It bugs me because it starts to discredit other things for me. Because I'm like, you could live this way, and some people just get dealt the wrong hand. They get framed, and they're in jail now for life. And like, there's certain circumstances where I feel like it would be pretty fucking hard, even if you live among the best way, that you're still kind of in a pretty shitty situation and like out of your control. And I think it increases your odds by a long shot. But like, it's just so weird to me to hear somebody say like, you do this and this will happen. So I don't know. You guys can shed some light on that.
Anyone? You're talking about external shit.
It doesn't say specifically what will happen or what that looks like specifically. It says you will make your demonstration.
No, but it says you will, whatever difficulties you struggle against, you will triumph over them.
If you do what?
If you live this life. The only way you're going to know that is if you live this life. If you're just reading about it or talking about it, you'll never know, because it's just a theory. It's just pie in the fucking sky. But if you really apply these principles, at least, look, not you. If I apply these principles, in my experience, applying these principles, that doesn't mean, I'm going to float off on a, pink cloud of pixie dust, and walk off into the sunset hand in hand with, Jesus or something. It doesn't mean that. It means that if you're persistent to me, what it means is that if I'm persistent in my faith, which implies learning patience, learning discipline, saying no to things that, I would really like to do, but they're going to fuck me up or fuck somebody else up or just fuck everything up. And if I'm persistent in denying the sensuality, to the best of my ability in the day that I'm in, and striving to live this life, in my experience, the darkest fucking times that I was willing to just not pick up a drug or a drink or not punch somebody in the teeth or not, pick up a gun or not, drive my motorcycle off a cliff or, any number of things. If I was just willing to just sit through the pain and embrace the pain and just be like, whatever, this too shall pass. That's always been a gateway to some incredible blessing in my life. Always. And that's experience. It's like, so we're alchemists, we turn shit into gold. That's true alchemy. Because, I don't know about anybody else in here, but I can imagine, I know myself, I come from a world of shit. Like just deep, dark, crappy, smelly, stinky shit of a world. And by the grace of God, that shit has been converted into gold, not just for myself, especially not for myself, but so that God could take away my difficulties so that victory over them would bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. It's not, I don't get to hold on to this. This has to be passed forward. I got to share it. I got to be of service. Whatever that means to me, which might mean something entirely different to you, whoever you are. But God will tell me in my daily meditation what I need to be doing and who I need to be doing it with or for or how to do it. If I ask. If I don't ask, if I wake up and I go on the computer and I start making frantic phone calls about money and, business and this and that, then, God has been edged out.
I'd like to give an example. So I just shared about the injury, right? So
DDA is next.
Oh, I didn't see your hand.
I mean, no, I'm saying after you.
Oh.
And then I want to say something too on it.
So I can't help that my mom's boyfriend took me when I was 8 years old, and he's pissed off and crashed on the freeway. No helmets, right? I can't do anything about that. I can't help that I was jumping, had my skull stomped in the ground till I was convulsing. Now I have brain damage, and there's more head trauma. But though I suffer, I am a much better person for it because I have empathy, and I realize a lot of people suffer from things you would never even imagine.
Wow.
And each day they may be in pain or not, their body don't work right, their brains don't work right.
Jail.
And say you go to prison, if you're living this way of life, we're just saying a big if here, you could maybe be a light for the people in jail, and it may bring you something better than you would getting sense pleasure or whatever it is out in the world. So yeah, you turn shit into gold.
Compassion.
Put your life on
But
a
if
higher
you're not
vibration.
living this life, it looks like shit.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the craziest part. Is if we're really living like this,
you start to vibrate.
All of
on
a
higher
sudden,
frequency.
whoa, I'm in prison, but now
It's all good.
It becomes, and I can't speak. I get what he's saying. It actually makes sense. Like you're kind of, I feel like a part of what you're saying.
It just feels like I hate it. Like, do that. I guarantee you this.
But
I don't know.
it
It's like
is
a
a
weird,
guarantee, and it has worked for me.
I mean, it's worked for me too.
You could
at
ask every
times.
person
It's
here.
worked for
Odds
me.
are.
But
no.
look at the last paragraph. What he says. If you look at these
Okay,
things.
you're next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
Oh. No, if you track back to the last paragraph, it says, if you seek systematically to destroy in yourself everything which you know should not be there, things such as selfishness, pride, vanity, sensuality, self-righteousness, jealousy, self-pity, resentment, condemnation, and so forth, not feeding or nourishing them, but by giving them into them, by starving them to death, by refusing them expression. If you extend the right thought loyally to every person or thing within your kin, especially to the people and things you dislike, then you are worthy to be called. Then he goes into this, and then he says, if you truly live this life. After explaining all these things in the last paragraph, you do all that, dude, you're gonna uplift your vibration, bro. You're gonna live in a different way.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
You might be in a fucked up situation.
It might not happen all at once, but by practicing and living it, you're gonna change your vibration.
100%. It's almost like positive.
I'm sorry to butt in,
positives.
but I don't know.
Well said. DDA.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna take it all. I know Tim. I hear what Tim's saying. Right? Like someone, you could be doing all this shit and then you get paralyzed, right, or some shit like that, right? Have a fucking seizure, you get a stroke, you can't move, whatever. But I just gotta believe, and I actually know when I'm at that place that you thinking that that's a bad hand, if you're with God, it's not a bad hand to me. To me, it's, you can't take, I talked about this before, I talk about it with Billy all the time, it's like, I can't take the good shit, right? I'm always going to put quotes on that shit. The good shit that God or Mother Earth gives me, and then but the bad shit's not God either. That's not God. Only the good shit that happens to me is God. This bad shit's not God. So fuck God because he didn't give me enough good shit. But dude, this shit's all fucking God. And for me, it's that bad hand that you look at as a bad hand, and that's your karma, it's your dharma. It's you gotta look at, I believe if we do this work and we live in this light, I just don't even think that question inside of me when I'm in that place even comes up, because I'm not even looking for the cracks in the book to show me where the flaw is, to even see that the cards that I was handed were bad cards, because I'm not even thinking in that light. And like that's the thing for me. It's like if I could look at every single situation in this present moment as complete God and complete love, no matter what my ego wants to fucking call as like the worst thing that's ever happened, and every exterior person in my life telling me how horrible it is because they're living in their ego and their fear. This is all. We can go down that road all fucking day, or we could like live with love. And I'd rather look at life that everything is a blessing, and everything that happens that I think is bad is actually part of a much bigger purpose and plan, and just let that shit go and ride it. And it might be some like whack ass vibe only type of way, but it's a lot better than fucking white knuckling my way through life. For me, that's it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to, Jonathan. You know, while you were sharing that is like so cool, and it reminded me that like yesterday or today, I don't know, one of these days, I was listening to some podcast. I don't remember what or who, but the guy was talking about Ram Dass. I think it was Ram Dass.
Yeah, man.
Guru.
Right,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and he had a stroke,
Yeah.
right?
Can't walk, couldn't talk from his
Couldn't
right
talk,
side, couldn't walk.
and he said, or you know, he conveyed through whatever means that like for him it was a great blessing because it taught him something that he needed to learn. So I mean, you know, it don't get no fucked up than that. I mean, you know, a stroke, that's no joke. And yet this guy, because he is living that life, because he is living by these principles, because he's really demonstrating that to where he could say, yeah, I had a stroke, it's fucking awesome. Dude,
Yeah.
figure that out.
Baba Ramda.
And then, you know, just to piggyback on what these guys are saying, like that kid who was paralyzed surfing, right? And then he was like, I can either be miserable in this life or start Life Rolls On.
Wow.
Which he basically goes around the world, you know, showing kids with disabilities and people who are in
Wow.
wheelchairs how to surf.
Wow.
And puts these, and like that to me, if I was him, like that's like the most beautiful blessing of all time.
Yeah.
Better than having my legs back, you know, like be able to you know, give so much joy and happiness to thousands, millions of people around the world.
Out of the world.
That which never, this Life Rolls On never would have happened if
Exactly.
you didn't get paralyzed from surfing. You know? So, I mean, that's.
Yeah.
But this is like a personal journey, so it's kind of hard for. And I just want to say that I really respect anyone who's being honest in the meeting. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm the guy going up and sharing about like seeing the fucking paying for the back page chick and everyone at the meeting. The meeting just changes. It goes from a meeting to everyone now talking to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, you guys can talk to me. You can talk at me. But at least I got honest about how I really fucking felt, right?
Looking for help.
So I fuck with that. Like, he's talking about how he's feeling and what he's thinking, you know? Because he's kind of... And I get what he's saying. Like, it makes sense to me. But what doesn't make sense to me is how that guy could lose his thing and find the blessing in that. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, okay? Because I haven't lost my... You know, but... What does make sense to me is how I can apply this in my life, you know, and I'm just going to try to do that. And if God paralyzes me or takes everything away from me, like, fuck, dude. If I lost Veronica, like, I don't know if I'd be able to do this.
But I
would have to try.
I got to assume that you didn't come into AA. You didn't sail into AA on the wings of victory.
No, but I had
and
a lot.
yet, look at all the blessings that's come to you through that failure.
Yeah, for sure. But I definitely had a lot of advantages that a lot of people don't have. No, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I have parents who believe in me and support me.
But when you came crawling in on your hands and knees, were you feeling so advantageous at that
No,
moment?
they could cut me off and all that stuff.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and no, that's the thing is, it's like, it's hard for us to see, like, heaven exists inside of our brain only.
Our heart.
So we could be under a bridge, poor, with nothing, like happier than the millionaire on the mountain. Like, but so that's hard, like, for people to understand, you know. But if you look at, like, you know, Tim, some of the people in the poorest countries in the world that have nothing are somehow happier than us. Just because they're not, whatever, like, I don't know how or why, and it's not for me to figure out. Like, all I know is that if I'm looking for the blessings, if I'm looking for the gratitude, if I'm looking for the love, I think we can all agree that it is a fact that my life will be better.
Yeah.
Right?
Better.
For
sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well,
You
let's
said,
at least agree on that.
I think the wording, I kind of more wanted to bring it up. I knew where we were going. I mean,
I'm glad you brought
I
it
can't
up.
fight that, of course.
That's
it.
it.
Like this, it's just going to.
So that's all they're saying.
Is better,
but
like,
it can
it just said
continue to
you will
improve.
triumph. It was just a little.
But like, you know, like,
No, that's just your. That's,
triumph?
that's what your thought of triumph is.
What's your perspective of triumph?
Triumph isn't like, oh, I'm gonna get $1 million. Triumph is like, you know,
That's the
winning over your serenity and happiness.
if we're doing this, our perception of winning
It's different.
totally
That's the triumph.
changes.
I mean, it's just. If you're just going extreme, you're just in a family, your father
It's
just
easy for
raping you
me-
every day. It'd be really hard to like consider that You
Yeah.
can still be there, and I don't know. How are you? Your perspective is kind of hard to have anybody to have a loving perspective if they're literally getting like raped repeatedly or something like that. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
agree with you.
I have to take it that extreme because
It probably gained the sense to get out of there.
It's
Yeah.
through all the brutality and all the suffering and all the
So-
fucking pain inflicted on people
Yeah, I
that
love that kid.
many
No, let me call
of
you right
us
back.
have found
We're still in our meeting.
a spiritual path where if we hadn't had that grace, we'd be out there raping, killing, and butchering and murdering ourselves. So it's by the
Right.
grace of God that these blessings come. It's not.
I see what you're saying though.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I really do.
Like he says, your perspective of the word.
God, there's a lot we don't understand.
Well, can I share?
That's why we're here, man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
I
a
mean, I
blessing
understand
that
what
you
you're saying too.
like I'm with it, and I'm basically I'm with it.
Yeah,
but like I'm just like sometimes I
His
wish.
wording is very.
I could,
Wait.
It doesn't speak to me the way things are written. It doesn't speak to me like I don't know. I just wish it was
What's
like,
old?
It's like
It's
I wish
really
it could just be
old.
like mostly.
So if you haven't experienced, I'm not saying you haven't, but if you have not experienced the peace that passes all understanding, then you maybe just won't understand what we're talking about. I'm not saying you, but anybody. And it's not until practicing this and getting the results that I have a little bit of an understanding of what it's talking about. And I just want to go further with that. Because there is a state of mind or being that you're all one, and it's not on acid or whatever. Well, it could be, but you're
It
one.
could be. Yeah, it definitely could be.
And you're part of, and it's in here, like you said, or he said the heart, which
So
is
I
like the
actually
subcon-
think acid
mind.
can help people understand that.
Everyone should have a mandatory acid experience when they turn 18. No, I don't know.
It's
But
crazy.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Because then,
I don't want to talk about.
But all I'm saying is, if you haven't had the experience of that transformation, it'd probably be hard to understand. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
907.
thank you for the question. And I also want to encourage
thanks,
people to ask those questions because it helps us find a deeper understanding of this thing. And it's part of the reason that I love Tim and why he's such a great partner for me. We have a business together, and he brings
Question
the
everything.
other. He's the other part. I don't like want to just be like jerking each other off. You know what I mean? Like it's that, and it's hard for me to.
We need
That's
that. in these
hard. I don't
meetings,
want. I get so mad at him for being that kind of person, but I'm also so grateful when I'm doing this. I changed from mad to fuck, man. Thank God he's that way. So that's just one example of how this works in my life with the person who's
Well,
asking.
it makes it real life.
It
You
helps
just
us
talk
all
in real life.
understand it better too. 'Cause we're all trying
Is
to.
the meeting
Without
over? Is the
friction.
meeting over?
Yeah, without
Okay,
the
the
friction.
meeting's over. I have a little business to address before we close.
Let's address it, bro.
Okay, so we're starting a Venmo that's just the Sermon on the Mount meeting because we're going to outgrow this space eventually. So we need to start getting a prudent reserve. We pay someone to put all the equipment together. We bring munchies, coffee. Meetings cost money. So we're going to start a Venmo that's just the Sermon on the Mount meeting. And
what is it? What's the Venmo?
Well, I didn't make it. I need someone.
I love Billy. Billy
I need someone to help me.
I didn't
with
make it yet.
that shit. Can you help me after?
Absolutely.
So
I would
next
love
week,
that. Thank you.
Yeah. So
We
any,
need help, dude.
so you can donate to the meeting, and I mean, I think eventually we're gonna outgrow your space. and
Are
we're
cash
gonna
donations welcome?
Oh, sure, yeah, but no
He's
one
our
has cash
treasurer.
anymore. That's
Okay.
why we do Venmo. It's like no
Thank
one
you
even
for-
carries cash.
Yeah.
So.
What?
Or a lot of people don't. You and me, I said pass a hat, and they started making fun of me.
What? That's because they're kids.
Yeah, you can hand cash to any person in here and they'll Venmo.
And this is weird, right? This is going to be a weird thing to even say, group conscious, I don't know. But like, you know, we're doing this, right? And it does cost money to bring it to the people that want to hear it with good sound and good video. And I want to bring that to them. But I have spent a lot of money to do that.
You guys got a place in mind?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm talking about something different right now. I'm talking about how is it unethical or weird to see if they want to contribute to
not at all
the production value.
Part of
the
let's do a vote kind of thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to navigate.
Ask the people.
I'm trying to figure out what this is, and I would love for it to get as big as possible, so that as many people can be a part of this as possible. I just did ask.
Oh, I mean in writing, like over here, the comments.
In writing, okay.
Yeah, in the comments. You know,
Right.
They're
So
a
yeah,
part of it
and
if
then
they feel
let us know what you
so
think.
we might set up a thing for them too. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, anyone who's listening, we're going to start a Venmo. So next week.
Oh yeah, cool. They could just send it
and
to that.
what is there like $15,000 of equipment here? You know, everything costs money. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, not right here.
Well, the
but-
computer,
yeah.
what's
It's crazy.
Don't take anything when you leave. Just keep- yeah, and so anything else anyone wants to say before we close about business?
I'd like to apologize to the people out there that had to, if they got disturbed by what went down.
That's just entertainment value.
I'm just saying though.
Yeah,
I think they like
yeah.
that's a. Yeah, but
I'm gonna
yeah,
take
I
it.
thought of that too, but then I thought to myself, you know what, like.
That's
It
real
just
life.
made it fun and real, and that's what they're signing up for.
I don't know about all that. Like,
Well, if it disturbed anyone's serenity, I apologize.
They don't like. Then
I mean,
they
they're
should
dead-
stop following me because it's what I do.
They're down to. I asked.
This is if they follow me, they know what they're gonna get.
Cool.
You never
So we
know.
could like throw up the Venmo link. once
We'll
we
make
do
it right now after this, and then we'll have it next week. And what's your name? Corey. Corey. Will you take us out with a prayer of your choice? All you have to say is the first word, like God or Our Father, and we'll all just pipe in. Okay? If you don't know the prayers.
Okay, yeah, I don't actually know.
Yeah. So after a moment of silent meditation for the people suffering in and out of this room, please join us in the prayer of Corey's choice. We're not holding hands because it's COVID.
I don't ever want to hold hands. That's just gonna be what God. That's what this meeting's gonna be.
I like holding hands.
I don't.
God.
God,
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Cool.
Just put the thing in the Venmo
guys. See you next Monday.
for this.
Man, that was intense. All of it.